There are a lot of reasons for FSU's downfall at the end of the Jimbo Fisher era. A lot of people have speculated as to what led to Florida State falling off so hard after the 2011 through 2016 run of 6 straight BCS and New Year's Six bowl games, a national title, a Heisman Trophy, and a college football playoff appearance. A lot of factors went into it. But one stands above the rest, and it's never been more apparent than it is right now. This is the dominant reason for the sudden decline of FSU football. There are a lot of factors that lead to any growth or decay. It's never all one thing. When you look back at the Jimbo Fisher era at FSU, you can see a lot of those factors in play that led to the downfall of the Seminoles. Hey, we're going to talk about some of those today, and I've got some insight and a take that I want to get off, and then we may even have a follow-up episode of this to go a little bit deeper into a dive of what led to that downfall. But when you look back at the Jimbo Fisher era, there were a lot of things. Jimbo's personal life and the changes there. The inability to effectively recruit and develop the offensive line is something that plagued the Seminoles for years toward the end of his tenure and then into the next couple of tenures. That's something that Florida State's just now starting to come out of. The FSU administration, their lack of willingness to give into Jimbo's demands. Though they did bend some, I think they maybe could have done more looking back. The passing of Monk Montesart, I think that was something that's massive. It's something that's been talked about. Jimbo's unwillingness to part with certain staff members, Fisher's constant flirting with other programs during the offseason as a way to leverage and negotiate, seemingly on almost a yearly basis. But there is one thing that trumps all of this, and it's a true picture of not only his personality, but also why he's struggling right now at Texas A&M. If you're watching this, do me a favor and subscribe right here underneath where I'm pointing. If you're on your mobile phone, it's a little bit off from there, but smash the subscribe button and let's talk about this just a little bit. The biggest issue, the biggest key, the biggest thing that led to the downfall at Florida State was Jimbo's unwillingness to adapt his offense. Josh Pate, Barrett, other national guys are starting to talk about this, and they're starting to make notice of it after A&M scored 14 points against Appalachian State, had 38 offensive plays against Appalachian State. They're starting to notice it. They're starting to talk about it. And it's always been there, but it just wasn't one of those big things that got mentioned. It wasn't the offensive line. It wasn't bad quarterback recruiting. It wasn't this. It wasn't that. It wasn't the missteps here and there. It wasn't him checking out in 2017. It truly was the unwillingness to adapt to today's offense. It's not just about having a quarterback like Jameis Winston either. A lot of people say, oh, if he had Jameis, the offense could work. I don't think it could. Not only do you need Jameis, but you need almost perfect injury luck. You need guys to not go down. You know why? Because that kind of offense, it relies so much on perfection. And so not only do you need a Jameis, you need a trio of wide receivers like Green, Shaw, and KB. You need the perfect, prototypical college tight end. You need 5 starters on the offensive line in the NFL. You need running backs that lead the league in rushing. And even then, I don't know if that offense would be successful in today's game. I don't know if it moves quickly enough in today's game. Josh Pate and others in the media have pointed out that this offense expired in 2014, and Jimbo refuses to adapt, and the Aggies at A&M are learning that right now. Their fans are upset. Their fans are annoyed. Their fans are having to hear the "I told you so" from Florida State fans. And Jimbo's offense not adapting is why A&M is in the position that they're at right now. David Hale from ESPN tweeted out that Everett Golson has the highest win percentage and the best touchdown interception ratio of all post-Jameis QBs under Jimbo Fisher. All post-Jameis QBs, Everett Golson, a transfer, has the best win percentage and the best touchdown interception ratio. He was 7-1 as a starter, had 11 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. He completed 67% of his throws. It's not surprising that his tenure came immediately after Winston's time at FSU. when you consider how much talent was left over from that team that Winston left after the 2014 season. Also, not surprising that the further we get from the Jameis era, the less and less effective that this offense has become. Times have changed, but Jimbo hasn't. The bigger picture is that Jimbo is just so stubborn that he refuses to adapt, not only in this area, but also when it came to his staff at FSU. He wouldn't make changes at Florida State, and that ended up costing him. Lost favor with the fan base, lost favor with the administration, lost favor with the boosters. And when he balked hard, they let him go. They let him go to A&M because they knew how it would turn out. And look how it has turned out. Jimbo's stubbornness is not only the reason for FSU's downfall, it's the reason that Kevin Sumlin, the previous A&M head coach, has a better record through his first 50 games than Jimbo has now. What are your thoughts? What do you think the major reason for FSU's downfall was and the reason that A&M is struggling? Do you agree with me? Do you think it's about Jimbo being stubborn and not changing his offense and continuing to run an offense that was effective nearly a decade ago? Do you think it's something else? Do you think it's one of the other reasons that we mentioned? Personal life, offensive line recruiting, Monk, whatever the situation was. They all led to it. All of these things added up equal the pie that is FSU's downfall. But what are your thoughts? Why do you think that Florida State fell off so hard? I think it's Jimbo's stubbornness. I think that you've seen in interviews, in his personality, with the Saban situation earlier this year, Jimbo is a stubborn guy. And I'm telling you what, if I was making $75 million to coach and do things, I would do it the way I want to do it too. But if you don't adapt, you die. And Jimbo's offense is dead. There is no reviving that. They'll have a successful year this year. They'll go 8 wins, maybe 9, probably closer to 8, 7 or 8. They'll recruit well again. But is Jimbo's chances of competing for titles dead as well? Is it as dead as his offense is? It might be. Tell me your thoughts in the comments. If you enjoy the content, hit subscribe. Stay tuned for a possible follow-up to this. I want to dive into this a little bit deeper, but I wanted to give this take. I wanted to get it off. Wanted to see what you guys' thoughts were. Again, smash the subscribe button. Thank you guys for hanging out, and we'll talk to you soon.